Never thirsty. Never thirsty.
I can picture just like, just talking to you. I mean, I'm like, you're so entertaining, obviously. I'm loving this, but
loving y'all too.
I bet you do some good impressions, man. I can just picture, like, I bet you do a good iced tea.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? If I took like 5 minutes to the side,
because your voice already kind of has a bit of ice in it.
You know what? That's funny. That's crazy you say that, because I was actually telling somebody that's a similar thing. Is so my whole family's from Philly. I'm the first generation Los Angelino, right? I mean, like my whole family's from Philly. I mean, I got a couple little younger cousins, but like Ice, who's from Jersey, he came to LA when he was young. But so when you like your family, their accent is what's right, like becomes part of you. So, it's interesting that you say that. That's ill thing. No, I can do I do a pretty good Busta Rhymes when I'm in the mood. Hey, yo, this incredible show. Yo, I want to, I could, if I really, but when you're on the spot to do an impersonation.
Funny that you say Busta. So let's go back to something here. We were talking about Tupac. So let's just riff on this for 1 second.
Let's go.
It's hard to think of people who in music started out as sort of a behind the scenes sort of character in a group and became the biggest thing, right? It's like Tupac is an anomaly. Like, there's others that have similar paths, not like Tupac, but I would say Busta Rhymes obviously was part of a group, and then he definitely transcended that group. Are there others that, Neff or you maybe that you can think of that it could be in any genre of music, but since we're talking hip hop, it's, it's pretty rare that someone who's, like Tupac had the Outlaws, like you don't see those, as good as they were or weren't, there's all sorts of Saint Lunatics or, there's all sorts of like crews of people that are behind somebody, and none of them usually blow up bigger than the person that they were behind. And
Lauryn Hill, maybe.
Lauryn Hill, sure. Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, Redman. At one point, Redman was featured on a song called "Hostile," and now he's Redman. You know what I mean? Like he was a part of,
maybe Snoop.
Snoop
was a soloist though.
I know, but he was like sort of like featured as like one of the guys.
I was gonna say, just not to jump, but Chevy Chase was the original drummer for Steely Dan.
Chevy Chase, really? I did not know that.
Drummer for Steely Dan, and now
I love Steely Dan, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, his name is bigger than Steely. As big as Steely Dan is, Chevy Chase. You interview 1 million people, more people know Chevy Chase than Steely Dan. Let's just keep it.
Yeah, but who's won more Grammys?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Those people that like, come from something. I mean, even you look at the late great Jay Dilla, like to be a part of the UMA, to be a part of a production group like that, to then become widely considered the greatest to ever do it.
Right.
And in my opinion, I'm going to say this for the record. I'm not going to say he's the greatest producer that ever lived. He's the greatest beat maker that ever lived. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say he is unmatched.
Yeah, well, he's got something that when something plays, exactly that's his. And that's pretty hard to do in a world where you're using samples and everybody's using the same kind of has the same.
And when and when I say unmatched too, because people just focus on the production, but that boy could sing. But he had all that fly.
Yeah.
He could sing that fly and rap his ass off. And he had he had styles and all kinds of like, he could make beats. He got 2 beats on Cuban Links too. He could make that woo stuff. He could make that. So anyways.
And also he also had a lot of stuff that like, now everything is very perfect and syncopated and on the thing. And his was like, it's like
he brought a new swing to the game, man.
Yeah.
And, man. And drummers in particular bow to him. Like they're like, yo, this guy's a beat maker. He changed the game for drummers. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's certain people, they just come out of nowhere or they come out of somewhere, but then they just emerge to this other thing, It's amazing.
So what are you?
Beyonce is the only person.
Go ahead. What'd you say, Neff?
I said I can't think of any more rappers, but I know Beyonce is probably a good example of that.
Yeah, like Justin Timberlake and that kind of stuff.
Right. R&B is all over the place. They just that happens a lot.
You don't see it too much in hip hop, and it's like a lot of there was like a good period from like 95 to 2005 when like any solo artist that like popped, his crew could come along and make a record. Like, I mean, even like, you know, this is meant not as in a disrespectful way, but like, you know, even Junior Mafia, like, you know, Junior Mafia was Boogie's guys, and Nas
there you
had
go.
like
He ended it.
Nas
had Ja Rule. You shut
it from the group.
Neff, you shut it down with that, because he was and the funny thing is his group was called Cash Money Click. Hello, Cash Money. But yeah, for him to go from that to being that, that's a really good call.
Yeah, but was that group popular but on its own?
Yes, they had a deal.
I had a single. Hey, let me just say something real quick, man. Just big up my bro Ja Rule, man. I only met him one time, but let me tell y'all something, man. That brother's special, man. When Shock G died, man, Ja Rule crept into my DMs, man, and showed love, man. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere, like just appeared, like, yo, bro, just want to say, you know what I mean? I was like, Ja Rule, man, as a real dude right there. Man.
Seems like a cool guy. I mean, listen,
real dude.
You know, I've never met him, but I know that, you know, I know that he definitely has like those comparables that people labeled him, you know, DMX and him very, you know,
right.
MOP.
And he had the bandanas when people threw the Pac thing on.
Right.
But it's like, it ain't his fault that he's of the same complexion and bald headed. Right. And he's don't like, it's like if a guy's wearing a baseball hat, okay, are you Big L or are you Jay Dilla? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, it's like people just do that. But you know what it is too. When you
he made hit records. Listen, people ask who's the best wrestler in the world, and is the answer Hulk Hogan? He's not necessarily the best in the ring, but who sold the most tickets? You know,
Ja Rule is such a vocal powerhouse. Like, I love that song of his. I got a story to tell. But even the first single, he said, "Ja baby, one of them minute, cause who sips Henny on the 2-seater sitting on 20s." He was crazy, man. I love Ja Rule, man.
Your impressions are amazing.
See, I do a good Ja Rule. If I could cuss, I turned it down because I couldn't cuss, but I let it. Never thirsty.